Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start by taking a look at Bitcoin because right now it is over $106,000. We're continuing to see the reversal here that we started seeing since yesterday. And as I've been saying, there could be the possibility of Bitcoin going back down to test some lows, or this is indeed the breakout to new highs. Now, it's not going to be a straight line up. You're going to have a pump, a mini pullback, consolidation, build support levels, then the next pump. We've seen this time and time again. We're going to stair step our way out of this hole unless there's another retest of the lows. So just be mentally prepared that if you see Bitcoin roll over in the coming week, that, okay, Tony told me this is business as usual. There's nothing unusual here. But my hope is, fingers crossed, this is the move to get out of this and we are headed to new highs. And of course, when Bitcoin breaks the all-time high it's set of $112,000 about a month ago, it will enter into price discovery. And we are seeing that Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. So everything that we need for validation of this bull market and that we are still in a bull market is aligning perfectly here, right? The stars are aligning for us. So this is still very good. And of course, the macro signal, one of the macro signals we've been using is global liquidity, and we see that has been on the rise, and Bitcoin and risk assets have been following that. So it's looking good. And if you look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin, the higher time frame, we got a huge green candle forming here. So patience is the key. We got to let this play out. It has to validate itself, right? That's what I'm saying. Just be prepared, mentally prepared for a possible retest. If not, we keep going up. And this takes us to the next high, which could be between 120 to 130K, possibly higher. And we see the altcoins go bananas. They're going to follow Bitcoin because the liquidity enters Bitcoin. Then there's a rotation of liquidity to the altcoins, ETH, XRP, Solana, and much more. And with this move from Bitcoin, we're starting to see Ethereum, XRP, Solana, they are already starting to pick up steam here. So again, patience is the key. That's the big part because this has to play out. And of course, it's going to be volatile. So, you got to expect the volatility. And the other signals that we're seeing that's very good is the S&P 500 also approaching its old all-time high, the NASDAQ as well. These are all great signals, folks. So as we've been watching closely for months upon months, I've been putting it in my newsletter. Here you go, right? And remember all the people screaming bear market, right, with the tariff. And I was like, wait a minute, no invalidation, but we do need to see the recovery. And look at that perfect V-shaped recovery. V for victory, right? Bears are crying right now. There was a lot of clowns trying to troll me in the comment section saying, it's not a bull market, it's over, it's a bear market. And I know some of them are bears who are shorting, but there are some idiots who are just going by emotions and not using data, which is what I've been sharing with you guys, multiple data points, the charts, the macro, on-chain data, and much more. So things are looking really good here, folks. And look, if this move is indeed the move to new highs, the next few weeks could be really exciting, the start of the bull run, and just be prepared. And I'm looking to certainly take profits as we head to either a local top in this run or to the blow-off top. That I'm not sure about yet, but nevertheless, I got my price points I'm taking profits at, and I'm sticking to that plan. I'm not selling everything. We'll see which signals flash, as this move happens. And if it's going to continue, then I won't cash out everything. I'll leave some for the final phase. But if this is the final move and the signals are there, I'm exiting everything. And of course, I'll share that with you guys. I'll be doing live streams, newsletter, obviously the daily podcast. So make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell enabled. Now, folks, yesterday I told you all about Anthony Pompliano raising $1 billion to buy Bitcoin through a new company that he's forming with a SPAC called ProCap. Well, apparently they've already started buying the Bitcoin. So he tweeted out today, we have purchased 3,724 Bitcoin. This purchase happened within 1 day after announcing a $1 billion merger and over $750 million in fundraise. The average price was $103,785 per Bitcoin. He says, we believe Bitcoin is the new hurdle rate. If you can't beat it, you have to buy it. So Anthony Pompliano is no idiot. He's no dummy. I met the guy. He's nice, a nice guy, and he's smart. And if he's buying Bitcoin at this price, do you think we're in a bear market that he's expecting this to roll over? Of course not. They're anticipating higher prices, and they use the volatility to do the arbitrage with the stock price and much more. So as you can see, this is a signal right here. And you got Saylor and other people who are doing this not only with Bitcoin, but ETH, Solana, and XRP. So this is really big from Pomp. And I should be interviewing Pomp sometime this summer to talk about all this. So stay tuned for that one. Folks, look at this bullish news. I'm going to play the clip for you, but Fed Chair Jerome Powell testified today, and one of his statements was banks are free to conduct crypto activities. Let me play the clip for you.
Banks get to decide who their customers are. That's not our decision. And so banks are free to provide banking services to the crypto industry, to crypto companies. And banks are also free to conduct crypto activities as long as they do so in a way that is, protective of safety and soundness.
So there you have it, folks. Straight from the horse's mouth. Bullish news. The chair of the Federal Reserve telling you that banks can participate in crypto activities and also provide banking to crypto companies in the industry. The roadblocks and hurdles are being cleared away, folks. We are ready to take off in this final phase of the bull market. And I'm not talking about, sometimes when I say final phase or fifth wave, people get triggered. Oh, what? It's going to happen tomorrow or by next month? No, I'm talking about like the macro fifth wave, which means it's going to play out this year. So this is so bullish. I mean, what else do you need to hear, folks? We've been covering the news of the OCC, the FDIC, and many others loosening up restrictions that were set by Elizabeth Warren, Gary Gensler, and her cronies when Biden was in office. And now, like I said, the runway is being cleared for the takeoff. And as we get crypto legislation, watch the banks jump all in. We've heard lots of rumors, right, of what they're trying to do with launching stablecoins and much more. We got ETFs, we got tokenization. Folks, mass adoption is going to increase at a rapid pace once we have the legislation in place. And I think everybody sees what's around the corner because of what Congress is working on, and they're gearing up. So very bullish. Here's another example of the government turning really bullish, right? So Bill Pulte, who some of you may recognize, but now he's the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. He tweeted out that we will study the usage of cryptocurrency holdings as it relates to qualifying for mortgages. Oh my gosh. If you are now bullish, I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know what you're paying attention to, but we still got ways to go. We are still relatively early compared to other asset classes. The on and off ramps, the infrastructure, legislation, all these things are starting to come to fruition. And folks, it's going to lead to more adoption and higher prices. You have to make sure you're looking at this market from a macro perspective, because the volatility on the 1 minute, 4 hour daily will drive you nuts. You can't sit there and look at it, right? And that's why I don't try to trade. I don't use leverage. I just simply buy the blood on the street, buy the dips and hold, and then sell the euphoric greed blow off top to make as much profits as possible. So it's incredible what is playing out here. And I think the writing's on the wall here of how blockchain and crypto is going to be integrated into the government and the economy and the markets. Like I've been saying nonstop, all these things will be running on blockchain rails. That's where we're headed to. Now, folks, speaking of mortgages and real estate, here's a quick word from our sponsor, Propy. Propy is leading the charge with putting real estate on chain, folks. On Propy's platform, you can buy and sell real estate with crypto. This platform is powered by blockchain. Propy, they have tokenized deeds. They've created NFTs for properties and much more. They are a licensed Web3 pioneer. They've been operating since 2017. They have facilitated over $4 billion in transactions. They use Coinbase for the crypto escrow with the buying and selling. Folks, I invested in the Propy token back in 2018. And when I discovered it, I'm like, wait a minute. I see where blockchain's headed, and I see they are the only company that's leading the charge here for the real estate asset class, which is the largest asset class in the world. And we know real estate's going to be tokenized. We know that blockchain is going to be used to improve the buying and selling process and much more. So Propy is leading the charge there. They have partnered with many of the associations, real estate associations across the United States And once again, I'm bullish. I'm a token holder. I have been for a long time. And, the Property token has been getting a lot of listings on major exchanges this year. So, guys, check them out. The link will be in the description. They're a great company. All right, moving ahead. Chainlink, Mastercard partner to allow 3 billion cardholders to buy crypto. We got banks, stock exchanges, payment companies, credit card companies, the biggest institutions in the world participating in crypto. This is incredible. So Chainlink, a company that provides a decentralized Oracle network, has partnered with payments provider Mastercard to allow the credit card company's 3 billion cardholders to buy crypto on chain. The integration could spur crypto adoption by providing a new avenue for people without Web3 exposure to gain experience with digital assets. The integration is made possible with a series of partnerships with Web3 entities, including Shift for Payments, Swapper Finance, XSwap, and Zero Hash, a crypto and stablecoins infrastructure company that will provide the on-chain service and liquidity, enabling customers to convert fiat currency to crypto. Here's a quote. The current version of the application available at Swapper Finance is non-custodial and leverages account abstraction to provide users with simplicity and control, a Chainlink Labs spokesperson told Cointelegraph. It was important that this solution was built for everyone, not just for crypto natives or enthusiasts. Major credit card companies are building on-ramps onto crypto. These things are now being set up. So please, I'm trying to make sure I'm getting through to you guys. I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I want you to understand what's happening here from a macro perspective, and that you're not just focused on price. Price is important. I want my bags to pump too, but I realize that it will take a lot of the adoption, the on-ramps, to allow more capital to come in, more adoption, more usage of the blockchain networks, which will make them more valuable and their respective tokens more valuable. So it's incredible what's happening. I'm blown away by the news. And of course, many of you know I'm bullish on Chainlink. I hold Chainlink in my portfolio, and I'm hoping for $100 plus Chainlink this cycle. But, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But Chainlink is doing a lot. A lot of other blockchains use Chainlink's oracles and their different other services and products because they are able to create these amazing price feeds and much more. So be sure to check them out as well. Now, NYC Mayor lays out crypto plans as city residents vote in Democratic primary. Now, I know we're going to talk a bit about politics here. This triggers people. You have people who hate Democrats. You have people who love Democrats. But that's not the point here. The point I'm trying to hammer home here is that every domino is going to fall. On the political side, they're all going to have to embrace crypto in one fashion or the other. What we've seen over the past year is that Mayor Eric Adams, regardless of how you feel about the man, if you hate him or love him, he has been embracing crypto. He even took some of his salary in Bitcoin. So kudos to him for being forward thinking that way. But he spoke at the Permissionless conference in Brooklyn today, and he said that under Cuomo's governorship, New York State dismantled and destroyed the industry, describing the former governor's actions as wrong and misguided on digital assets. So Cuomo was not an enthusiast about crypto. I'm sure he's going to change his policy. We're seeing, everybody's capitulating at this point. But here's what he said. I think in the first 120 days, the number of bills that went through the federal level to deal with this issue is extremely impressive, likely referring to Congress moving forward on legislation to regulate payment, stablecoins, and crypto market structure. He said, and now you're seeing cities picking up and states picking up the same energy. So he's talking about states passing the Bitcoin reserve and much more. So this is incredible, right? We're just seeing on the federal, the state, the city level, a lot of people are embracing crypto. So very bullish. Once again, forget about the politics of it, the Democrat versus Republican, or if you like Eric Adams or not. That's not the point, right? Same thing I always talk about with Trump. If you want to talk politics, we can go into the details of politics. But when it comes to is crypto getting adoption and who's embracing it, we're seeing more bipartisan support, both Democrats and Republicans. So you got to make sure you're looking at it from that perspective, from an adoption standpoint, and leave the politics to be politics. There's room for that, but that's a separate podcast, separate conversation, right? So I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, crypto is a global asset class, and we're seeing everyone is putting in their regulations, embracing this technology and much more. Japan proposes reclassifying crypto, paving the way for ETFs and lower taxes. I like lower taxes. So hopefully the United States can drop capital gains taxes for crypto. That would be amazing because I've said it many times. Capital gains taxes is highway robbery by the government. You take your already taxed money, you invest it, you make a profit, a great return, then the government comes and takes a cut of it. So it's highway robbery, man. So Japan's financial services agency proposing a sweeping reclassification of cryptocurrencies that would clear the path for the launch of crypto exchange traded funds and introduce a flat 20% tax on digital asset income. The proposal introduced on Tuesday suggests recognizing crypto as financial products under the scope of the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act, the same regulatory framework that governs securities and traditional financial products. The proposed reclassification could also shift Japan's current progressive tax system, which taxes crypto gains at rates up to 55%. Oof. That's brutal, man. To a uniform 20%, mirroring the treatment of stocks. That would be great. The change could make crypto investing more attractive to both retail and institutional players. You don't say. But that 55% is nasty. What a crazy tax rate. That was probably the early days when they were trying to slow this down. But now they're like, let's open it up. We're going to make sure that we're more friendlier to crypto in different ways. So pretty incredible stuff here. Now, Falcon X joins Crypto.com as partner for Link, if I'm saying that right, Institutional Settlement Network. So let me give you the details here. Falcon X, a digital asset prime brokerage that says it has executed over $1.5 trillion in trading volume, has joined Crypto.com, Galaxy, Wintermute, and others as a launch partner for Link, a platform that aims to be a settlement layer for digital asset and financial institutions. The launch of Link could underscore growing institutional interest in digital assets as regulatory clarity improves. Falcon X says it has access to over 400 tokens, will act as both a participant and liquidity provider on the Link network, said Link CEO Gerald David. So folks, again, another example of the infrastructure, the on and off ramps being built for more capital to come in. And, there's already a lot of retail on and off ramps. They're building it for the institutions, the wealthy individuals, folks. So what do you think is going to happen as millions and billions come through from these institutions? What do you think is going to happen to the price? We're going to see an explosion in the price, and things are going to go to higher valuations, but you got to be patient. You got to be patient, right? Some people are going to read this news. Why isn't it pumping right now? Come on, right? If you don't understand that, then maybe this is not for you. Maybe you should go play the lottery and go to the casino so you have that instant microwave result. I pull the lever, I hit a button, and I get my results. That's not what we're doing here. We're investing. We're looking at the long term. We're looking at the macro, and we're going to get bigger returns and have better odds than playing the lottery and going to the casino. So this is why we have to educate ourselves and keep paying attention to what's happening. Now, final news item. Digital Asset raises $135 million to scale Canton blockchain network. So the company name is Digital Asset. I know that's a unique name because it's name of an asset class, or if you're speaking specifically about a digital asset token, right? So Digital Asset raised $135 million from Goldman Sachs, Citadel, and others to scale this network and to drive tokenization of real-world assets in finance. Look at the names, Goldman Sachs and Citadel. But to some people, this is a scam. This is all a Ponzi. This is fake, right? They've been reading headlines. They've been fooled. They have not educated themselves. They've listened to just Jamie Dimon and these people who spread FUD versus saying, let me go sit down and read these white papers. Let me research and educate myself as to what's happening here. So let me give you some context before I go through the details, because I want to make sure you understand what the hell the Canton network is and why these folks are investing in this. So Digital Asset and a group of firms, including Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, and Deloitte announced the Canton network in May 2023. In September 2024, Digital Asset and the Deposit Trust and Clearing Corporation, the DTCC, who just met with the SEC to talk about tokenization, by the way, completed their U.S. Treasury Collateral Network pilot project on the Canton network. In early 2024, Digital Asset completed another large pilot project with clearing and settlement service Euroclear, the World Gold Council, and global law firm Clifford Chance. As part of this initiative, gold and bonds, Euro bonds and gilts, were tokenized on the Canton network. So they're building their own blockchain here. Notice who's involved. Some of the biggest names. Folks, this is incredible. And I want you guys, if you don't know who these people are, go research it and your mind will be blown. So let me bring you back now to what the hell is happening here as far as this institutional capital raise. So they raised $135 million in a strategic round, and you have tons of big names participating. And this funding is intended to accelerate the adoption of institutional and decentralized finance on its Canton network. The Canton network is a permissionless layer 1 blockchain that offers configurable privacy and institutional grade compliance. With this new capital, Digital Asset hopes to expand the integrations of billions of real-world assets into the network. Watch what they do, not what they say. Look what the hell is happening here and what they're building, folks. I'm not bullshitting you when I tell you the blockchain rails will power the governments, the finance, and the markets moving forward. And it will all play out. If you got kids, start educating them about blockchain and what's happening here in stable coins and even AI, right? Because we are in the fourth industrial revolution with blockchain, crypto, AI, robotics, space exploration, EVs, and all these things, folks. It's incredible what's happening. The world is going to change. And I have a kid and I'm my daughter, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to help her to be educated about these things and to point her in the right direction. And when she becomes an adult and she's ready to get a job, what type of jobs are going to be, in existence. So these are things I'm thinking about, and also trying to position some crypto assets. I've told you guys there's some Bitcoin I'm never selling. It's going to go to her and things like that. So I'm trying to think long-term too for my kid. And some of you, I know you got kids and you got your family. So think about these things, right? Because you see where the puck is heading. So we want to skate to where the puck is heading. So incredible stuff here, folks. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Folks, a great way you can support me is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's on Substack. It's 100% free. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you about every aspect of crypto. Check it out. It is packed with a ton of value. You got videos, full text write-ups, downloadable materials. What makes it unique and different from all other courses out there? It has expert commentary. You will hear from founders, CEOs, and institutional investors in the crypto industry. For example, learn about tokenization from the co-founder and CEO of Securitize, the company that helped BlackRock to launch their tokenized fund. See what I mean? Lots of value packed in here. So check it out. Go to mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.